played maybe one or two games. So I'm going to go 175.
That's a lot of nudie runs.
Yeah, well, that figure was closer to the amount of nudie runs than the actual amount of people who scored tries, actually. But David's the winner of that one. It was 235 different try scorers in Super League this year. Ash Hanley and Bevan French top scored with 15 apiece. 100 over the whole course, including the playoffs, that is. 144 players earned a nudie run. Matty Lees played the most games without scoring a try in Super League, 18. And Tom Davies ended the season with the best strike rate of 1.3 tries per game. That's 13 tries from 10 Super League games for Tom Davies. Wow. What a record that was.
Are they still doing nudie runs in COVID times?
Well, why not?
As long as you're wearing a mask, you're all right.
Is everyone having to do it sort of on Teams or something?
Well, no one wants to get close to them anyway, do they? So it's.
I mean, having seen a couple, it's quite a sight.
Seen a couple, or Question 3, you get to go first on this one, Tim, and the scores at this stage it's all to play for, and I haven't come up with a tiebreaker yet. So Tim's got 1, David's got 1, Alan's yet to go off the mark. But final question: how many of the 379 players managed to play in Super League without getting credited for a single error or penalty? So they didn't get an error or a penalty on the stats in 2020.
12.
Tim's gone 12. Alan?
I think that's a bit low. I'm going to say 45.
And I will go 50.
Okay, I'm going to have to do some maths here. Bear with me.
Better not be 47 and a half.
The winner is Tim. It was 26. So Toronto's Andrew Dixon managed it with the most carries and tackles, 21 and 76 respectively, from his 2 games played. Although there were a couple of players who played 4 games and didn't commit a single error or penalty. They just didn't play as much minutes as Dixon did. Across the whole season, James Maloney gave away the most penalties with 17, and Bevan French made the most errors with 35. But Tim wins the quiz.
Well done, Timmy.
Wow.
Well done, Tim.
Well done, Tim, and also thank you, because it means I don't have to hastily figure out what my tiebreaker would have been.
Yeah, I definitely threw that last round. Yeah, definitely.
Let's do our recommendations, and we'll give the honour of going first to our guest, David.
Oh, could you come to me last? Just give me a second.
Okay.
Sorry.
What have you been doing whilst the rest of us have been watching Strictly in the Bake Off, Alan?
Well, working and stuff. But other than that, I have just caught up with a show on BBC. I've caught up on iPlayer. It's Sarah Pascoe's new show called Out of Her Mind.
Oh, we're 1 episode in on that. Yeah.
Okay, no spoilers then.
I watched the first episode. Wasn't that taken by it? Does it improve? Because I love Sarah Pascoe, but
it's interesting. I think the 6th episode is very different to the first 5. I would say, and I wasn't that keen on the 6th one. I will admit, but I thought it's got potential. So I think it's worth a watch, and it's a 6 kind of 29-minute episodes. It's quite an easy watch as well. So I think it's worth sticking with personally.
Okay, Tim.
Yeah, a game called Maponymos we played this week. I got it for my birthday from my future mother-in-law. It's good fun, and it's basically kind of like dominoes mixed with a geography, with a map of Europe for this one, and you can only connect to countries that border, and it sounds straightforward, but it gets increasingly hard.
No, I'm on this. I like the sound of this.
It sounds like something where they came up with the name first and then came up with a game afterwards. Because it's such a good name. You think, right, how can we make dominoes and maps work together?
No, it's a good fun one. So we're already looking at other versions because you can do different versions. There's a UK edition and lots of other like round the world ones. So we're already looking at that.
Well, when it was the American election and we were sat with like CNN on the TV and it had the big United States map on the wall all the time and stuff, it just inspired us to do a bit of some geography quizzes of our own, just me and Emma at home, and we did all the states, and then we did all the countries in Europe, and then we did all the counties in the UK, in England, and
did you forget Rutlandshire?
Well, it was an online thing, so you just had to. It prompted you. It came up with a name of a place, and then you had to find it on the map. But yeah, Rutland, I couldn't find.
So I've got quite a good app that I used to use on the Tube. Do you remember the Tube? Public transport? Anyone?
When you used to be able to stand close to people.
Yeah, when you used to have to sit on a tube at rush hour, and you could pay for the privilege of somebody's backpack or any other body part in your face. It's called Geo Challenge, and it's like a little. You can either do flags or shapes of either countries, places, whatever. And it's quite a good one for just sort of flicking away time. I quite enjoyed it.
There's two recommends.
Plenty for the geography nerds to get onto there. I'm happy with that. Do you know what we've been doing this week? Because last week my friends wanted to play poker, and there's like an online poker app you can use called Poker Now, I think it's called, and you don't have to sign up or anything, and you can set up a game and just give the link to your friends and play through that, and then sort out the money afterwards if you're so inclined. So we've been doing a bit of that, and but Emma didn't know how to play poker, so I'm not a very good teacher, but I sort of taught her the basics, and then she's been playing and so much. But because I was teaching her that, we had the pack of cards out, and so during like lunch breaks for the last week and a half, we've been playing Shithead. I haven't played Shithead since I was at like college. But that's been fun.
I love Shithead. When we went climbing in the Himalayas last July, we became absolutely obsessed with the game and played it relentlessly every day. It was brilliant, and I then introduced introduced the game back home to my family, but when we were playing with Granny and so on, we had to rename it a little bit.
Yes, yeah. So that would be my recommendation anyway, but David's just blown it out of the water by throwing in the Himalayas as well.
I've thought of one to chuck in. I think the last time I was on, I talked about getting to do some walking on the Southwest Coast Path if you ever got the opportunity. Well, yes. There's a book called The Salt Path, which was written by a lady called Raina Wynn.
Raina Wind? About coastal walking?
Wynn. W-Y-N. Raina Wind.
Yeah, it's rain or wind, sorry.
Rain or wind, yeah. Go on.
Very funny. It's a really moving and extremely interesting story, true story, about a couple who lose everything and end up walking on the Southwest Coast Path. And I actually read it just about the time I was going to walk down there. It's fabulous and well worth a read.
I feel a bit sorry. I feel a bit regretful of the joke now, David. Now that the book's got so much weight to it.
I don't.
No, yeah, you're right, Alan. I'm back on it. Yeah.
Never regret a pun. Never.
So sorry, the title of Rain or Wind book.
It's called The Salt Path.
There you go. Excellent stuff. Right, so what we've got coming up for you, we've got one more show this year. It'll be the SLP Awards show. We'll have the show in mid-December. We haven't set a date for it yet, but you can get your votes made on the awards now. So look in the episode blog post for a link to the voting form if you go to superleaguepod.com, or it'll be appearing every now and again intermittently on our social media pages. So Alan, why don't you sort of remind people where they can find us on social media?
Yep, so you can find us at Super League Pod on Twitter or Instagram, facebook.com/superleaguepod. You can email us, superleaguepod@gmail.com. The episode blog posts can be found at superleaguepod.com. You can search for the show on Spreaker, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Podcast Addict, Stitcher, Spotify, Overcast, or anywhere else you find your podcasts. And we're also on YouTube.
Yeah. Do you want to take us through our partners and friends, Tim?
Yeah, so Rob's Toy Shop, where you can enter SLP discount on checkout at Rob's Toy Shop on eBay, and you get 5% cashback on orders over £5, plus 1% cashback to SLP. Little Warden, vital alerts for hidden issues. Head over to littlewarden.com to see what they can do for you. Also have a checkout of hodgsonlights.com. If you want to find out all the information about
if you're in
Hodgson Family Lights.
Cross Gates area of Leeds, is it, Alan?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes,
yeah.
It is.
Enjoy the light show. Make a donation. Don't take more than your fair share of sweets. Don't be a prick.
Yeah, I've already
good advice, isn't it?
Signposted some Leeds friends to that for entertainment for their children. So looking forward to that one for them. Mascot Browns, you've not got long, but for all your international RL gear, it is being packed up as we speak. So get on over to there if you want anything for Christmas, or in fact anything ever again. And finally, Sarah's bookcase. Sarah sells Usborne books, and with access to over 3,000 titles from baby to young adult, there's something for everyone. And you can find more on Facebook.
Excellent stuff. That's it. Do you know what? I enjoyed the second half of that show a lot more than the first half.
You got through it, Mark. Well done.
That is the third time I've had to do a show where Wigan have lost the grand final, and the fourth time I've had to do a show where Wigan have lost a final. So
should be used to it by now.
Yeah, exactly, Tim. That's it. Thanks for everyone for joining us for this one. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope I didn't burst any eardrums at any point through legitimately standard reactions to absolute nonsense. And thanks to David for joining us and giving up his time. Thanks to Alan and Tim, and even though she's not here tonight, thanks to Sarah as well for her hard work this season on the show too. And thanks to you all for listening to your favourite rugby league podcast, the Super League Pod.
Goodbye.
Bye from the champions.
Bye.